Hey fam, welcome back to Gloriousjoy Moments, the podcast about self-improvement, motivation, positivity, and affirmations. And I'm your host, Joy. Today with me is a great personality, someone I think we all know, or most of us know here in Sierra Leone. And we'll be switching in between our native language, which is Creole. So we'll be talking in English and Creole for the layman's understanding. So our guest is Madam Lucian Ganda. Please, ma, say hi to our listeners and viewers.
Hello, viewers, and hello, listeners.
Okay, so today we'll be talking about, our passion, our career. I know we all want, we all dream of achieving something in our lives. We all have this thing that we want to do, we want to aspire to be, And Miss Lucian find herself in a field that is very full of, that is male domineering, full of male rather. So, and Miss Lucian, please, would like us to, would like to know more about you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Thank you very much for having me here. And let me start by introducing myself. I am Reverend Dr. Lucian Ganda,
Yeah.
currently the Director of Administration and Human Resources, Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. And that does not end there. I am also Reverend, of course, the Minister in charge of Bethel Methodist Church, Wilberforce,
So,
in Sierra Leone, Freetown, Sierra Leone. So I serve as a minister in charge there, and I also serve as a director of administration and human resources at the state-owned broadcaster, SLBC. So that is my role. And I grew up in Waterloo, a village, a rural setting, and partly my education was at Waterloo and in Freetown here, after which I went to college and I did higher teacher's certificate in secondary education. And I was a teacher, but I came out of the teaching field because of the passion of being a journalist. So I was teaching and I was a journalist when I started practicing journalism early years in the early 2004.
wow.
So after which I decided in my mind in 2014 to finally quit the classroom and to give myself fully to journalism practice in Sierra Leone, for which I have been known now all over the place for my work as a journalist, forgetting the other parts that I was a teacher.
Yeah.
And I also taught so many people. I was teaching, the last school that I taught was the Methodist Girls High School.
Okay.
I was
Which
teaching English
subjects?
and literature
Wow.
in SS2 and SS3.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow, that's very impressive. And now we all know you for Lucian Gada, the way you use producer, that's the most popular one that we know of
Yeah.
you. But you have so many, you have achieved so much, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but growing up, what did you aspire to become aside of teaching and becoming, now that you are a journalist?
Yeah. Well, fate has its own way, destiny has its own way. But for me, when I was growing up, I thought I was going to become a medical doctor.
Wow.
But for my late dad, he looked at me one day and said, when you grow up, I will be the one that will take you to the SLBS,
Whoa!
which is SLBC
Listen
now.
now.
My
Yeah.
late dad told me that I will be the one that will take you to SLBS and tell them that you should work there because you like talking. That was what my dad told me. But then growing up, I thought I was going to become a medical doctor, and I started studying science. But it was rather unfortunate for me. I dropped out of school, being a teenage pregnant girl, and I dropped out of school. So all that dream died when I dropped out of school, and I got my first daughter, who is now in the United States. Her name is Victoria. And when that sad event happened, I lost her father while she was 4 months pregnant.
Wow.
So I thought my world has crumbled. So I was, down, and I wanted to just relax about life. But thanks be to God for the mother He gave me. My mother, took a motherly role by putting me down, counseling me that this is not the end of life. So when I got the baby, my mother said, look, you are not going to sit because you are still young. I was 15 when I gave
Wow.
birth to my first daughter. So I had to go back to school.
Okay.
So in that zeal and passion, and from all the people who go to us to talk to us and to motivate us about life, I made up my mind that, oh, I've seen a way. It is still possible for me to become somebody.
Yeah.
So I took my studies very, very seriously. So in 1998, I was fortunate to take the exams, but because of the kind of intervention in Freetown, I could not access my WASC results. So I had to go to Conakry. After which, when I came back, I went bravely to WAEC and asked for my result.
Wow.
My result was given to me, and then I saw the result. I said, oh, I will not sit. Let me pursue my career now.
Okay.
I wanted to advance in the teaching field, so I went to Freetown Teachers College and I pursued a higher teacher certificate in secondary education. But I was a teacher,
Okay.
by that time. So after which, I said, I'm not satisfied. Let me go for the first degree. I went in for the first degree, and in 2013, I came out as the best university graduate
Wow.
that year, awarded by Life by Design. So I was all over the place, billboards and all over the place. And I was the best that year. So that motivated me not to sit. So immediately after that first degree, I made up my mind to go for the master's.
Okay.
So I went for the master's program at Jala University and I did the master's. And today I'm out with public administration, and immediately I went for the PhD.
Wow.
So I made up my mind. So you can still be a dropout and be somebody. So it's a motivation for those who think when they stumble, they should just fall.
Yeah.
If you stumble and fall, what you do is to rise up as long as you have life, dust, and then move on with life.
Yeah.
There is still possibilities out there. Your future lies in your own hands. You have to rise up and take your future, take it, and then make use of it. But if you just give up, just like that, then you are doing yourself. You're not doing anybody.
No.
Because there are people who tried it and they succeeded.
Yeah.
I am one of those who tried it. Today, here am I. Here am I. What more will I say? I will say thanks to God.
Yeah.
Because from a dropout to now a director, I think I should praise God.
Indeed.
A lot of people have made strides, and they have made strides, but they could not get up to that height.
No.
And they could not, reach that height, and God has called them. So for me, I thank my stars and I thank the Almighty God that He gave me the opportunity to be what I am. And let me also give you an interesting aspect that challenged me.
Okay.
After receiving a master's degree, and I was the best candidate for that year also.
Wow.
And I graduated as a master's student, as a master's person, and my shoulders were high.
Yeah.
And then, because I was a lay preacher in the Methodist Church Sierra Leone, I decided to opt for being a full minister. So when I opted, there was an obstacle.
Wow.
The committee that was set up to look into our case said, oh, my dear, yes, we know you have a master's degree, but you must also go back and have a first degree in theology for you to be ordained as a minister.
Really?
Oh, that challenged me a lot. And I said, no, I cannot condescend. Times you don't want to go down.
Go down, yeah.
But let me tell you, it pays to go down.
Yeah.
If you want to go up, you must go down.
Yeah.
Look at those, skyrocketing buildings. If you go to New York, you will see buildings that will kill you. Look at the way they construct them. They dig a huge trench.
Yes.
The depth of the trench will determine the height of the building.
Oh, yeah.
That is a revelation that people should grasp.
Okay.
If you want to go up,
Yeah.
you must dig down.
Yeah.
If you do not, then if you go up, you will not last. You will crumble. So it has to be down before up. So the way up is the way down.
Wow.
So please, you should learn from that.
Yeah.
So I had to go back. So I have 2 first degrees as I speak. I had to go back to College of Theology as a master's.
Older.
A master's older.
Yeah.
I had to go back and then put myself down. And then I decided to just close my eyes about this whole master's thing. Let it not stuck up in my head.
Yeah.
as to preventing me from reaching the height I wanted to reach.
Yeah.
So I went there, all my lecturers are master's degree holders, and here am I, a student, a master's degree holder who is supposed to be a lecturer in that college.
Yeah.
I went and I humbled myself, and I went through the course. And some of the lecturers are first degree holders, but I went through humbly. But then I proved myself for them to know that this is not an ordinary student.
Yeah.
I became the best for that year as well.
That's
They did their
impressive.
graduation.
Yeah.
I was not even happy to go there, but I had to
So you
go.
go.
I had to go because there's
Yeah.
this accolade that I just have to go for this honor. So I went there and I graduated again with another first degree after the master's degree.
Wow.
So, and I was ordained.
impressive.
Today I am a full minister
So,
in the Methodist Church Sierra Leone. That's to tell you that the Methodist Church Sierra Leone has its own standard.
Yeah.
No matter what you are outside, when you want to come, you will bend and go by their rules. So that's it about life.
That's good. That's impressive. That's impressive. Yeah, I just want to draw your attention back. Initially, you said we were a teenager when you got pregnant, right?
Yeah.
So at that particular stage, what were you going through? Because I'm not so confident they are that way they go through the same thing right now. Young people, the young girls, they
Yeah.
the web out there. So man, they will go. Thank God now the education system they allow pregnant women they for go school, right?
Well, it was unfortunate.
Yeah,
My own days,
that was
it
not the case. Yeah,
forbidden.
yeah.
It was forbidden. You cannot be pregnant and then going to school.
Go
at the
to
same
school,
time.
yeah.
But what happened was I waited. I waited, but the unfortunate part is that the man that impregnated me was 19 years
Oh man.
and I was 15. He died.
We're both teenagers.
So I waited and waited and gave back to my girl, paralyzed for 2 weeks, and then came back to life. And I nursed the child for 8 months, and my mother said, "Look, you cannot continue to be in this condition. You are born great. I am very much sure that there is something good out of your life. So you cannot afford to wreck your life just because of this single mistake. Rise up, go back to school." So I adhered to my mother and I went back to school. And I did not regret, just like I said. It was difficult, those moments, so many people used to console me and tell me that, oh, this cry, not a one game they cry. Meaning that you will have to cry this cry for a very long period of time.
Yeah.
So, because at that time I was still a kid, could not even understand the implications of losing your child's father while she was just 4 months in your belly. So it was, for me, it was just frustrating because I was just thinking about a lot of things and mixed feelings all over the place because he was never sick. He was not sick. He was supposed to travel on Sunday, and then Thursday he got struck and died on the spot.
My God.
So it was a strange thing for a new life that is coming up, as tender as age 15, and then you have that shock. So you can imagine what that was. It was difficult, but God was able to stabilize me, and at the end of the day, I came out with flying colors. Look at me today. My daughter called me yesterday, and we spoke lengthily, and she said, "Don't worry, next year I'm coming to town." I said, "Fine." She said, "The States." And she said, "I will move next week to my grandmother," that's to my mom, who is in New Jersey. My daughter said, "I will move to her, and I will spend the Christmas, after which I will return." She lives far away in North Dakota. So that's it. I'm happy and I'm glad that God preserved myself and my daughter to see this day. So it's a great pleasure, it's a great joy. That's why I've decided to make up my mind to become like a counselor, to talk to the young people, to give them hope, so that they know that there is still hope. You have to be persistent enough for what you want. You have to persevere. You have to be disciplined. You have to be honest. All of those things put together will help you climb the ladder safely. So that's the reason why I have decided to go into the ministry. To become a blessing to other people. To become a blessing to my generation. And I am just doing that. As I was seated in the studio before we started the meeting, before we started the interviews, my superintendent just called me, informing me that, "Oh, you will address the wedding in your church. I said, okay, it's fine.
Okay.
It's the church. I am a minister in church,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I cannot deny that. I have a wedding on Saturday. I have a wedding on the other upper Saturday.
Yeah.
You know what that is. So it's just blessings and blessings and blessings. And
Thank
before you
God.
came in, somebody was talking to me,
Yeah, I've
inviting me to
overheard.
talk to our family
Yeah.
so that they will get themselves united.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of showcasing what God deposits in you.
Yeah, indeed.
If I would have just, shied away from life and then just say, okay, let me just be in this small corner, today I would have been one of the fishmongers.
Yeah, indeed.
But I made up my mind, say, oh no,
And
let
thank
me
God
let me shake
for,
off the dust and let me continue the race.
yeah, and you had a strong mother also
Oh
who you
yes,
said,
yes.
motivated you, talked
Oh,
with you, and pushed you,
she's strong.
That's really impressive. Now that we are seeing a lot of young girls, being impregnated,
Yeah,
and they are going. We have a lot of cases of low self-esteem now, and depression is on the rise. So, what
yeah,
can you tell those young girls out there if they are going through the similar situation, and they are unfortunate that they don't have, a motherly figure to just push them on, to motivate them, to inspire them? How can they cope with life and just think that, okay, I have to move on. I don't have to, get stagnated. I don't have to, doubt myself or
yeah,
to go and abort this child,
yeah.
for just, what can you tell them?
If I am fortunate like the way you have given me this platform, what I would say to them is that nothing is impossible, and you must not give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on God, for there is nothing God cannot do. If He did it for me, He will still do it for you. My story should touch your life so that you know that indeed you can move from darkness to light. You can move from night to morning. You can move from an ugly situation to a pleasant one. It depends on you and your attitude towards life. Being pregnant as a teenager does not mean they have signed your death
Or it's the end of your
warrant.
life.
It's not a
Yeah.
death sentence. I'm not saying that you should go about promiscuousness. No, that's not what I'm saying. But when you are coming up as a teenager, at times we make mistakes. Myself, I was unguarded. Nobody told me. So I never knew. Just my first attempt in life, I met with that problem. And I could not abort because, in fact, I didn't know that I was pregnant.
Oh,
He had to tell me that you are pregnant. I said, no. And he
wow.
was insistent in telling me that you are pregnant. I said, no. How can I be? Look, and I was squeezing because how innocent I was. I never knew. So mistakes are bound to happen. We are all human beings. But when you do the mistake, ensure that you correct that mistake and make a very good thing out of that mistake. Because our God can do it. He can make a way in the wilderness. Out of nothing or an ugly situation, God can develop something good. So it is not impossible. If He has done it for me, He will do it for you. If you find yourself in that situation, do not go about abortion. Do not abandon the child like what somebody did quite recently, abandoning twins in a cemetery, killing them. No, these children are not responsible. You are responsible because you did it out of your ignorance.
Yeah.
And we have some men who are very heartless. They don't care. All what they want to know is that when they are hot, they want somewhere to quench. After quenching, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't want to face the consequences. So they leave these girls to begin to wander around and suffer with their children. That is the reason why so many of our girls will just go and abandon their babies, dump them. No, the poor children are not responsible. If you have done that mistake and there's a child or children that you have out of that mistake, please do not abandon them. Abandoning them is not the best thing to do because you do not know what those lives will become in the future. So, what you do is try to persevere, try to make the best out of your life, out of what is left with your life after that encounter. You can still build upon it and make yourself comfortable in life. Look at me today. Who would have thought? When I go to my village now, so many people will look at me and say, yes, indeed, God is good. Those who were bad-mouthing, friends, colleagues, that we sat in the same class, when I dropped, oh, it was a nice news. That time there was no WhatsApp. But they were explaining, don't get belay, don't get belay, don't get belay. Yes, but belay is not sickness. Look at me today, healthy, strong.
Yeah.
What have I not achieved? Out of the squad that I had, none of them have reached this height. None. But the dropout has reached.
Yeah.
And those who thought they were the best now call me boss. So that is to tell you that nothing is impossible.
Yeah, no
It is
punishment is
left with
permanent.
you.
Yeah.
It is left with you. What you want is what you will have. Go for it. You have it.
Wow, impressive. Yeah. And we have learned a lot. I've learned a lot so much because all I know about you initially was all the Ganda journalist, and now I've come to know, the depth of your story, and I feel so inspired really, and I'm so blessed, having this interview with you, and I know the viewers and listeners are also blessed. So as we have had, please, let's just go after what we dream of. If we are unfortunate, or rather, I can't say unfortunate because they say children are blessing from God.
Yeah.
For any people get picking a blessing from Heavenly Father. So if you get belle, not go poila. If you get born the pikin, not go to an adopted box. All this time they happen. Go and give us we no get, or born the pikin left in a hospital, or go left in any ceremonies in a church now. Some kind of place so the pikin go take care of them. But please, if you're not a teenager, they go through this kind of traumatic old self there, trauma or self-depression, low self-esteem, just reach out to anybody way to us and talk to her. If you not get motherly figure like Madam Lucia, we mama be really be there with them, they support her, they push them on, talk to positive people they're online. So people like they really generous online.
I am also there, I'm willing.
Exactly, and she's
offer.
here.
In fact, let me also tell you that I have an organization.
Okay.
I am representing here in Sierra Leone, and solely I am working with girls, women and girls. Because it's Safe Hands for Girls Sierra Leone.
Okay.
You can reach out to me and then we'll do the rest.
Yeah.
You can reach out to me. So many lives I have touched, but I'm not here to praising myself because I am nothing actually without
by the
God.
grace of God.
So it's only what God helps me to do that I do. Yeah. So if you found yourself in that situation and you cannot get yourself out, you need an extra hand, you need help, you need counseling, you need advice, you can locate me at the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation and I will take you on board to reprogram so that you will move forward with your life. It is not late until it is late. So it is never too late. As long as you have life, there is hope for a living dog than a dead lion.
Yeah.
Take note of that.
Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the part 1 of this episode, and part 2 will come in next week. Thank you so much, and I hope you have learned something because I have learned a lot, and it's been really wonderful here chatting with Madam Lucienne. Till next week, this is our affirmation for this particular episode. Thank you. And don't forget, Gloriousjoy Movement Podcast is on Facebook, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. You can reach us there. We have our Facebook group. You can reach us there, join the group, be part of the conversation, and leave your comments, your topic of discussion. We'll be glad to get back to you. And blessed thanks and appreciation to Multimedia Plus, who is our partner on this podcast. This particular episode will also be aired on Multimedia Plus on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find a particular episode there. And don't forget to reach out to us. We are always available to partner and for sponsorship. Thank you again, and till next week. Bye for now.
My commitment to myself is the most important one I have. I will make career decisions that honor my worth, passions, and integrity. My career is a journey, not a destination. I'm in control of my career's journey. I'm capable of achieving my career goals, even when the journey isn't what I expected. I don't need the approval of others because I believe in my goals and know what I am working towards.